I don't know what wood this is, but it absolutely fucking stinks.
Now see, there's chunks missing here. I don't entirely know what's caused it, because obviously I've only just come into possession of the table, but it's right where the middle pocket was. So I'm assuming it's where balls have been hit into it over the years. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to cut out that section there with the jigsaw. The one on the other side's nowhere near as bad, but I'd probably do the same thing there as well. Looks like had a bit of worm in there. Don't think it's there anymore. We're going to fill these holes. Onto the legs. These are in a bit of a mess. I need to cut these nails out. I don't even know where they were hammered. Like bits and pieces of stuff all over the place, so we're going to need the angle grinder for that. Oh, you slag! Right, so the next step is try and put some finish on this. Now, obviously I haven't sanded it right back to the original wood because I would be here for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And it would cost me, I don't know how much in sanding pads. So I want something quite dark. And I've got this Keener wood dye, black. Now this obviously isn't going to be enough. It's water based, mixed with alcohol, so it keeps. But the slight kicker to that is I can't find my sachet of dye powder at the moment, which is really annoying because I had it yesterday. I don't know what I did with it. So I'm just going to do a little, I say that, I've just spotted it. There it is. Now that should be enough because it's really, really quite concentrated. You need a tiny, tiny amount. But I'm just going to do a test and see how this goes on here first. Because it is thin. And obviously because it's water based, I don't want to apply it too liberally because I don't want the wood to move or warp or anything like that. So we're just going to give it a go. If this doesn't work, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. I've got some like brown, I think it's fence paint, which would be fine, that I could darken up with this dye, but it's going to take a long time to dry, not as easy to apply, so let's see what happens. the whole point was want to kind of keep it looking vintage, antique, because it is an old table. I am trying to find out a little bit more about the table. I know it's a Riley, but I don't know whether the this base that I'm working on at the moment is an original base or whether it's been built afterwards, whether it was sold originally as just a snooker table top to go on top of a dining table. I literally don't have a clue. I know that somebody, the previous owner, has obviously tried to do work on it before, because there's lots of glue job on it which is not particularly professional looking, which I wouldn't expect from a company like Riley's. This stuff, well, it does stain, so I've obviously got my old workshop clothes on anyway, but that will take days to come off my hands. I should have put some gloves on really, but the good thing about this is it shouldn't take too long to dry. I don't know how many coats, and I like the fact that obviously where I've sanded more, it's darker. So you can apply some oil once it's all dry up at the end as well. So I'll probably do a coat of this, take it back by hand with some steel wool, and there. So just for comparison, that's with the finished stuff on, and this one here still sanded. So we do one side at a time for fairly obvious reasons. Oh, there's a little bit of sanding that needs doing on this one too. Just grab a little gallop. The idea is to sell this table on, because I bought a brand new one. This was kind of just a temporary thing. It cost me £30 for the whole table. So if I spend, I don't know, 80, 100 quid sorting it out, then I'd sell it on for a couple hundred. I'll be, even if I just get my money back, I'm not bothered. In fact, I'm not even bothered about getting all the money back for it, because it's something to do. Give me a bit of a project. I'll get a bit of use out of it before my table arrives, no doubt. So I've never used this finish on such a large project before. The biggest I think I've used it on is a guitar body, so it's relatively new to me in that respect. Obviously, because all the sanding is uneven, deliberately so, just going to get a nice patchy effect on these. Sort the edge out there as well. Hoping to get this sorted today, and I can get back indoors and put it back together, and then put the top on, because since I only picked it up yesterday, I've not actually hit a ball on it, because we had to take it apart to get it through the front door. So it's kind of would have been kind of pointless putting it back together just to see what it played like. I've just done one side each of the of the sides. I'm just going to move on to the legs now. This could be interesting because I'm not entirely sure this is the same wood as the sides. In fact, now I've started it, I know it's definitely not. I'm pretty sure the sides are softwood. And by softwood, I don't necessarily mean literally soft. I just mean they're from an evergreen tree with needles, as opposed to a hardwood like this, which is from a deciduous tree which loses its leaves in the autumn. I suppose that makes sense because the legs would need to be a lot sturdier. Tight the grain on the legs, you can see immediately. Okay, so they're all dried. Got a mix of boiled linseed oil, beeswax. I've just put a little, the leftovers of that powder in there as well, just to darken it up a bit. So I'm going to put the oil on these now.